All right, today we're jumping into Charles Baxter's fantastic short story, Gryphon. It's this incredible tale that basically throws the world of boring, everyday facts into a cage match with the wild power of imagination, and we see it all happen through the eyes of a fourth grade class. And really, the entire story comes down to this one big question. It's something we've all bumped up against, right? Whether you're in a classroom or an office. What's actually better? The comfort of a plain, simple truth you can prove, or the excitement of an idea that might not be technically true but is just way more interesting? So, to really get the huge impact of the story's main character, we first have to understand the world she's about to walk into. And that world is this small, pretty average town of Five Oaks, Michigan, inside a perfectly normal fourth grade classroom. I mean, think back to your own school days. We all had a teacher like Mr. Hibbler. You know the type. His classroom is predictable, it's structured, and if we're being honest, it's kind of dull. His lessons are all about practical, provable facts, and there's absolutely zero room for wonder. Everything is by the book, a textbook that's ironically called Broad Horizons. But then Mr. Hibbler gets a cough, and that whole predictable routine just gets shattered. Because in walks Miss Ferenczi. And from the second she sets foot in that classroom, you just know this day is going to be anything but ordinary. Right away, the author gives us all these little clues that she is a total outsider. She doesn't look or act like anyone these kids have ever seen. The marionette lines on her face kind of hint that she's a storyteller, someone pulling the strings on a whole new reality. She skips the Pledge of Allegiance if she's not in the mood. Even the oak tree she draws is too big, too wild. It can't be contained by the neat little lines of their world. And this is where the title of the story comes from. She tells the kids she once saw a griffin in Egypt. This mythical creature, part eagle, part lion, is the perfect symbol for Miss Ferenczi herself. She's a hybrid, a mix of two different worlds, fact and fiction, the ordinary and the fabulous. But here's the thing, Miss Ferenczi doesn't just tell wild stories. She goes deeper. She fundamentally challenges the kids' entire idea of what truth even is. And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? In Mr. Hibbler's world, math is fixed. 6 times 11 is always 66. Lunch is Sloppy Joe's, and truth comes from a textbook. But in Miss Ferenczi's world, well, numbers can be a little more fluid, lunch is exotic stuff from who knows where, and truth comes from dreams and these incredible personal experiences. This is where she introduces this truly radical idea she calls the substitute fact. A kid points out that 6 times 11 is 66, not 68. And she agrees, yeah, sure. But then she asks, isn't 68 more interesting? It's a huge challenge. She's asking, what if we decided imagination was just as valuable as accuracy? You know, as long as nobody's getting hurt, what's the big deal? She even uses this great analogy about water to make her point that truth can be fluid. She says a number is just like a cup. It's just one container, one way to measure something. For a fourth grader, that's a mind-blowing idea, that the hard and fast rules they've been taught might not be the only way to see things. So this clash of worldviews isn't just some abstract debate. No, it plays out through the students themselves. They're basically forced to pick a side. Which reality do they want to live in? First up, you've got our narrator, Tommy. And from the get-go, he is just completely captivated by her imminent weirdness, as he calls it. He doesn't question her stories about angels on Venus or anything else. He just dives right in. He becomes her biggest fan. And this is a huge moment for him. He races home, grabs a dictionary, looks up Gryphon, and he feels this amazing sense of victory when he finds it. The key word for him is fabulous. It confirms that her world of wonder, it's a real thing. It's legitimate. It exists. But of course, not everyone's on board. And that's where Wayne Rasmer comes in. He's the opposition. He's the kid who represents conformity, the one who needs the rules to make sense. And Miss Ferenczi's world of substitute facts and flexible numbers, it absolutely terrifies him. And listen to this. When Wayne finally goes and reports her, this is his reason why. It's not about what's true or false for him. It's about order. Her stories are a disruption, a threat to the comfortable, predictable safety of Mr. Hibbler's lesson plan. So it all comes to a head when Miss Ferenczi comes back for another day and starts reading the kids' fortunes with tarot cards. When Wayne draws the death card, she tries to explain that it's just a symbol for change, for metamorphosis. But for Wayne, that's it. It's too much. The idea is too powerful, too scary, and he runs straight to the principal. And just like that, the clash is over. Predictably, the institution sides with order over chaos. So let's take a look at the aftermath. So Miss Ferencia is let go, she just quietly drives off in her rusty car, and the Gryphon is banished from Five Oaks. The weirdness has been contained, and that familiar, predictable routine is back in place. But this is where the story gets so beautifully ironic. The very same afternoon that Miss Ferencia is fired for talking about a mystical, imaginative metamorphosis, the kids are sat down for a science lesson about the four-stage metamorphosis of an insect. One represents a leap of the imagination, the other is just a dry, scientific process. And, I mean, this list says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the trade-off. The world of griffins and angels is gone, and it's been replaced by a vocabulary list of insect mouthparts they have to memorize. It's a really powerful statement on how our systems, when they're challenged, often retreat back into sterile facts instead of encouraging real curiosity. But here's the thing. You can't totally erase that kind of magic. For Tommy, our narrator, something fundamental has shifted. He looks out his window at a pile of junk cars, and he doesn't just see junk anymore. He starts looking for shapes, for the possibility of something more. Miss Ferencia might be gone, but she's given him a brand new way of seeing the world. And that's where the story leaves us. It's asking us to really think about the price we pay when we choose safety over wonder, facts over fables. It's a challenge, really, to look at our own lives, our schools, our jobs, and ask ourselves, in our constant hunt for the one correct answer, what do we lose when we chase all the Gryphons away?